You can easily prevent your WordPress website from getting hacked. Follow this video step by step till the very end and I'll show you exactly how to set up site scanning, how to set up two-factor authentication, how to make sure that no one can brute force your website, how to disable the cursed XML RPC module, and of course how to hide your WP admin login. Make sure to really invest this time once so your website is fully secured and you don't have to worry again about hackers ever again. So let's dive in right now. The very first thing we do is we're going to get the plugin we need to secure our WordPress website once and for all. Go to wpressdoctor.com/solid and press enter, or just click on this link up here and it will take you to the comment section, go to the link, etc. It's a free plugin, but if you decide to go to buy the pro version, I get a small commission for it, so thank you very much. Press enter, and now we are at the Solid Security website. You can buy a pro version, which is $99 a year, but in this tutorial I'm going to show you the free version, which works absolutely amazing. Just so press on basic up here, and it's free forever. Press get Solid Security Basic. And then we are at the WordPress repository, so we just press on this download button up here. Great, here we go. Then go to your WordPress website and log into it. And then we go to plugins, add new over there. Press on upload plugin. Select the plugin we've just downloaded and press install now. And then we press activate plugin to secure your WordPress website. And here you go, Solid Security Basic has been activated. All right, let's go to the settings in here. Click on settings. Welcome to the wizard. The first step is to determine what kind of website do you have. Do you have an e-commerce website, a nonprofit, blog, portfolio, or brochure, for example? Most websites are a blog or a brochure, simple website to promote your business. So I'm going with the brochure website. Then yes, we want to enable Security Check Pro. It's free, don't worry, press next. Are you configuring this for yourself or for your client? This is my own website, so click on this one. On this step we choose yes, we want to enforce password policy, so weak password or leaked password or hacked password are not allowed to use anymore in your WordPress website. Very important. Press next. The next step is to authorize your own IP address from your home or your office or where you are right now. Click on authorize my IP address over there. And then you have one IP address from yourself you're working on right now that should not be locked out by Solid Security when you do something wrong. Then the IP detection is great. Keep it like this and press next. Then we have login security. Yes, we want to enable two-factor authentication by using another device. Just enable this one. We're going to set it up later on in this video. Press next. Then we are at the user groups. If it's just you on your website, click on default user group. But if you have a team and you create a different kind of roles for other people, use custom user groups. We're going to click on default user groups. In this step, we can determine what user group permissions they have within Solid Security. For example, the administrators, that's you and me, we've logged in, we can change anything, then they can manage Solid Security, that's fine. They can enable the dashboard creation, but you have to enforce strong password on the admins, very important. We don't want to have compromised password on the admin accounts, and they cannot skip two-factor onboarding. And then we want application passwords for admins, that's great. Now scroll all the way up. If you don't have editors, authors, contributors, just go to the next step and skip a few seconds in this video. If you do, however, go to editors. What you want to check with editors is that they cannot manage Solid Security, they cannot enable the dashboard, and they have to have a strong password, refuse compromised password, really important, and they cannot skip two-factor onboarding because they need it. Now go up again to authors. It could be the same, really great, but maybe contributors or subscribers, you want to actually make it possible for them to skip two-factor onboarding. Why? Well, if your blog consists of a lot of people who are coming into your website and you have to sign up to respond or reply or comment, then two-factor onboarding might be a bit of a hassle because every time they have to pick up their mobile, see the authentication codes, it's going to be quite some trouble for just a subscriber to come onto your blog. So enable them to skip two-factor onboarding if you have them. If you don't have them, just press next. Here are the email notifications that we really want to use for various features. We're going to tweak and tune this later on. So make sure to fill in your email address over there that you regularly read on your mobile phone or somewhere else where you can just see them, because important notifications will come through email. Maybe you're the only one who wants to receive it, or maybe someone else in your team, or when it's just you, select your and press complete setup. All right, hang on a little bit. Great work. We have done step 1. Now let's go to settings over there, because we still need to tweak a lot of features inside the security if you don't want to get hacked. Press on settings. Now we can close this message for now, dismiss. So now we are at the global settings. I'm going to walk you through all these settings in here and also the menu in here, so your website will be completely secured after this tutorial. Make sure to follow it to the end, because there are a lot of important features at the end that we still have to enable. The first setting, write to files, is excellent. Keep it like this. As all these settings are well known with the hacking community, we want to tweak and change some of these things. Now let's change the 15 minutes to 20 minutes. And days to remember lockouts, let's change this to 14 days. So that's twice as long. We're gonna ban a repeated offender, of course, and the ban threshold, the number of lockouts Solid Security must remember before permanently banning the attacker. Let's turn this down to 2, so they only get 2 times the option. Don't worry if you get banned, I will show you at the end of the video what to do when you are locked out of your own website. Now let's change some of these lockout messages, as I like to tweak them around. If your IP address has been locked out, you should say something like, "Payback time, you have been blocked." And the user lockout message should be something like, "Oops, you have been locked out for trying too many invalid login," something like that. And then in community lockout message, your IP address has been flagged as a threat. Payback time. Alright, then we have authorized host, that's you. Now this is a nice new feature, automatically temporarily authorize hosts. If you log in as an admin successfully with your two-factor authentication later on, then your IP address will be added in here as an authorized IP for the next 24 hours. Great feature, I like this. Then we go to logging, how you should events logs be kept. It's very simple. If you have a very big website with a lot of visitors, choose file only. If you have a small website, a blog, and you're just starting out, or a brochure website, just choose database. It has an impact on your server, so make sure to choose the right one. Then you have 60 days to keep a database log, which is very important because you can always see who's trying to hack you, which guy attacked you. And if you're not interested in anything of that, just put it down to 7 days, for example. But most cases I keep it on 60 days, 2 months is more than enough. Then you have the IP detection, which is great, that is fine. And then we have this option, hide security menu in admin mode. We're talking about this option right there. You should turn this on, because once we have set this up, you never have to look at it again because it works excellent. Turn it off and press save. Alright, and we scroll all the way up again and we go over here to features. Here we are at the two-factor authentication. Just click on here and it drops down even more options. The methods should be all methods, so people can choose how you want to two-factor authenticate your login. Then we have the setup flow. You can disable the two-factor onboarding on first login. Now this could be very useful because if people for the first time logging into your website, it might be a bit of a hassle to also configure the two-factor authentication. On the other hand, it could be useful to just do it immediately because then they're not yet logged in and they can configure it. It's completely up to you. Normally, I do not enable this, so they just get this onboarding welcome text. You can customize this text to give some more information about why you need to do this. But this standard text is absolutely great. Let's go to firewall over there and we click on ban user settings over there. We're going to enable the default ban list from hackrepair.com, and they've done a good job in collecting all kind of IP addresses that are used maliciously to hack websites. Now the 100 IP addresses is great, just keep it on there. You can add ban user agents in here. We don't need it on a normal website, but you can configure it. Let's scroll down and you have the firewall rules engine. Click on it. As hackers knows these default values, we're gonna change this to 7 firewall violations and we're gonna change it to 45 minutes to remember. Then we scroll down and you have the local brute force. Let's click on this one and then we're gonna use a very powerful feature, automatically lock out the admin user. Now, this is very important. If you are logging in with your website and the username is admin, you should really change that right now before enabling this one. How to do that? Well, it's pretty easy. You go to user, all users over there, open link in a new tab. And here you can see what your username is. In my case, my username is the WPress Doctor and I'm the admin. If you see that your username is admin, you have a big problem. So then you're gonna press add new. Then you're gonna add in a new username, for example, Matt. Then you need to enter in another email address that you have used on this website. So, gonna change it. And enter your name, of course. Then we're gonna generate a very strong password like this. Copy it and add yourself as an administrator. All right. Then press add new user. All right, now I have 2 administrators on this website. The next time we're gonna log in, you're gonna use the new username and not the admin, because that's one of the reasons a lot of people get hacked. Let's go back to Solid Security and then we can enable this one, automatically lock out admin users. The login attempts, the max login attempts per IP should be on 3. Max login attempts per user, I would say let's do this to 7 or even 5. And then the minutes to remember a bad login should be extended to 15 minutes, like this. Then we go to network brute force, click on it, go down. Of course, we want the network brute force, so just add in your email address and don't worry, you won't get any spam. But if you want to receive email updates, just enable this one. Press save, and then we're gonna scroll all the way up and we go up here to site check. On this site check, you can enable the file change. Now, this is a very powerful feature to see if malicious code is being placed on your website. However, it can also be very frustrating if you receive everyday emails from warning file change has been detected. We have to exclude some folders from the file change scan. What folders do you need to exclude? Well, for example, caching plugins or caching themes. For example, go to WP content and here we have ET cache from Elegant Themes from Divi. I'm going to press select. So this way it is now excluded. If we now scroll down, you might also have another caching folder in here, or maybe a WP content and you have in uploads. You might have some other folder called caching or cached or whatever. Make sure to select and exclude them over there. And we scroll down and we're going to enable site scan scheduling over there. When this feature has been enabled, your website will be automatically scanned twice a day and you receive an email when a problem has been found. Press save. Then we go up here and we go to utilities. On the utilities, we want to enforce SSL. It means all connections with your website are forced to use a SSL certificate. However, for this feature to use, of course, you need an SSL certificate provided by your hosting company. And how do you know it has been provided? Well, most of the time it's been automatically these days, and you see a lock here inside of your screen. If you don't have this, immediately go to your hosting company and ask them to fix it, because it's kind of standard nowadays. But make sure to enforce SSL. Then we go to database backup, which is a very powerful feature to make sure you always have a backup of all your posts, all your settings, all your comments, everything inside of your website. Now, if we schedule a database backup, you can define the number of days between backups. If you have a brochure website and you're not changing a lot, you should change this to 30 days because nothing really happens on your website. So if you have 1 or 2 backups, you should be good. If you have a very busy website like a web shop with a lot of orders each single day, you actually should put this on 1. Because your database changes a lot of times, and when you need to restore your database, you actually want a very recent backup. There are different ways to go with your backup file. Do you want to have it sent to you by email or save it locally on your website itself? Or do you want to save it locally and email it to be safe? If you're backing up your database every single day, then you might want to save it locally and also email it, because apparently it's very important that you have your database all the time. Here you can change your backup location, should be good now, don't change that. email it, you can send it to yourself via email. Just remember, if your database is very big and you're gonna back up it every single day, you get very large emails. If you can handle that, that's okay. If you keep them all inside of your email server, it's gonna fill up pretty quickly. So how many backups do you want to retain? I should keep this on 30. Why? Then you have 30 days within a month, and after this month, the first one gets deleted and the new one comes. So you only have 30 days of backups. Should be good. If you have the backup interval, for example, to 30 days, once a month, make sure to keep only 12 backups. Then you have backups to the entire year, and you should be good whatever happens to your website. Of course, we want to compress the backup file, or else it's very big. You can define what database tables should be excluded or included. The default settings are great, just keep it like this. And then we have the Security Check Pro, which is enabled, and press Save. Scroll all the way up, and then we go to user groups in here. Again, we have already done this, the administrators, subscribers, editors, authors, everybody else. So this should be good. Let's go to notifications in here. You can change your email address. The Security Digest is a daily email. It will send you mails every single day. It's fun the first 2-3 days, but after that it gets really annoying. My advice would be to disable this one. Save it. Then we go to site lockouts. Do you want to have a notification each time an IP address will be locked out? I don't think so. Disable this one and press Save All Changes. Then we go to the database backup. Where do you want to send your entire database backup to? Is this your normal email address or someone else? Or go to file change. Do you want to email a file scan report directly after the changes? Then you can enable this one. You can do this, but you get most of the time daily emails about plugins updating or the WordPress system updating or caching folders that you didn't exclude. So I would say disable this one. Make sure to check the log sometimes if nothing really strange happens. And then we have the site scan scheduling, but we want to enable this one actually because you want to know if someone bad happens, you get an email immediately. Press Save Changes. Then we go to two-factor email. Here we can customize the email people get when they're trying to log in, and they use two-factor authentication via the mail. Keep it like this. Then we have the two-factor email confirmation. You have to keep this enabled or else it will not work. And the two-factor reminder notice is also mandatory. You need this, so that's great. All right, let's go to the advanced section, which is very important. We have system tweaks. Drop them down. These are very important. Make sure they are like this. Disable, disable, disable. Keep them all on. Very important. Scroll down. Go to WordPress tweaks over there. Disable the file editor. Really great. Keep us on. Then we definitely need to disable XML RPC. This is actually a way to just log in and brute force your website. So we really need to disable this. Some things might not work anymore after you've disabled this. For example, Jetpack plugin, WordPress mobile apps, and maybe pingbacks. So if you're using these things, you have a blog, for example, and you're using Jetpack, I really don't like it. But if you use it, or the WordPress mobile apps, you can keep it enabled. Again, it's a huge security risk, so I won't advise you to do so. Now we go to the REST API. Make sure to restrict these access. If you're not a developer, keep it restricted. Let's scroll down. Then you can change how users may log in, email address and username. That's great. Or if you only want to use a username or only want to use an email address, it's completely up to you. It's a little bit safer if you only accept email addresses or usernames, but most of the time hackers can scan your website and grab your email address from there. So I always keep it on email address and username. Then we have to force a unique nickname, very important. And we're gonna disable the extra user archives because WordPress usually tend to create extra archives for your username, which enable hackers to quickly scan your website and just find out your exact username and use it to try to brute force your website. And then we go to one of my favorite features in Solid Security, which is the hide backend settings. Go into there and enable the hide backend. If you use this, you can't log in anymore using WP admin. No, we have to change a new login slug. So let's change this to something like keys to my castle. Now make sure to copy this URL, copy it, save it in your bookmarks or somewhere, because you cannot log in anymore if you don't have this login slug. All right, I'm gonna show you how you can log in if you forgot it at the end of this video, but make sure to remember it. All right, the register slug, just keep it like this, should be great. And then the enable redirection. If you use WP admin, go to a redirection. For example, you Batman. And then they know they cannot log in anymore. And if you need a custom login or logout action, you can add it in here. Basically for developers, but if you need it, you can add it in. Press save. Now we scroll all the way up and you can see that we have covered all these settings. Now let's go to the dashboard in here. Click on it. Welcome to your Solid Security dashboard. In here you can see all the important stuff that's happening on your website. You can see the latest news, of course, and then you see the bans overview, the lockouts, the active lockouts, your database backups, the threat, the bans IPs, and also the vulnerable software that is powered by PatchTech, which is an excellent new feature I really like about Solid Security. Now you can see immediately if plugins you have are actually vulnerable. If they are, you can view them and you can update them. Make sure to always update your plugins. That's the most common way people actually get hacked. Then we go over here to site scans in here. And in here we can press on start site scan and we can see if there are issues with our site security. Why not just start it right now? Gonna scan plugins, gonna scan themes, it's gonna scan the WordPress core if it's still okay. Then it's gonna check Google Safe Browsing if your website has been flagged with malicious code. And we're gonna see if you have two-factor authentication enabled for all users. Then they're gonna check your password to see if it's actually safe. And after that, you can see the details of this scan. And we can see that our usernames don't have two-factor authentication enabled. We're gonna do this in just a second, bear with me. If you do see other things in here, you can click on View Details. You can remind users or remove files or repair them. It's actually pretty great. I'm actually really happy with this site scan feature because it was still lagging behind WordFence and now we have it all in Solid Security. So this is the way to go right now. Let's go to firewall. On the firewall settings, you can see if there are threats blocked and firewall logs, and you can just see what's going on your website with the firewall. Nothing so far on our website. If you go to rules in here, we can add some custom firewall rules. It's coming soon to Solid Security, so we have some custom firewall rules, which will be really handy if you're a developer. Let's go to vulnerabilities in here. Well, that's good. No vulnerabilities are found on my website. Excellent. Let's go to user security. Here is a list of all users on your website which are registered. And you can, from here, you can press on edit user. You can easily send another two-factor reminder email, force a password reset, force a logout, delete accounts. This is really useful. We use filters in here. So we're gonna use all the users, for example, that has not enabled two-factor authentication. And they are, for example, subscribers. Just press apply filters and you will see all the users in here. I really like this new feature because it makes handling all different kind of users on your website really easy. So I love this. Let's go in here to settings. We've already talked about all the settings, so we're almost done. Let's go to tools in there. Very important. We need to identify the server IP address. Press run. So then your server IP address is saved. Very important to do so. You're gonna change the user ID with number 1. You don't want to have a user ID with number 1 on your website. Easily hacked, so let's change it. Then we have the database table prefix. On good hosting companies nowadays, when you create your website, it doesn't even have the WP underscore prefix in your database. But to make sure that you have it, press run. However, we strongly recommend creating a backup of your database. Make sure it already has run and sent you a file with the database or backed up to your system, and then we press run. Scroll down in here. In this option, you can reset your encryption keys. It is useful if you have problems with your two-factor authentication, or you have an idea that you might have been hacked after placing Solid Security. If you don't put your password online, it's kind of impossible right now, but if you need it, you can just confirm and reset your keys. Now, a new feature in Solid Security is that you can create a MU plugin loader. It will be loaded as an MU plugin. It's for better security and better optimization. So I would suggest we press run. Now, if you see this cookie check failed, you have to re-log into your website and try to do it again. When you've logged in with two-factor authentication, it might solve this problem. If we now go to the check file permissions, if we click on this one, you can see all the files that are important and inside of your WordPress website. You can see these things. If you see warnings and they are red, you really should change them with the value. If you don't know how to change them, check out my tutorial about FTP, and there you can change the permissions of all your files. For example, the WP config and the htaccess, well, I actually need them to be 644 because of WP Rocket, but you can always change it. Let's scroll down a little bit. Server config rules here, you can view or flush them. If you notice problems on your website, then you can run this again or copy it and place it manually. In most cases, you don't need this. Also with the WP config rules, exactly the same. Then you have the WordPress source. You don't have to change this. Only if you think you have been hacked sometime in the past, you can do this. It will also force all users to log in again. All right, the last thing to see in here are the logs. And on the logs, you can see what's going on your website. For example, we did the site scan a couple of minutes ago and the first file change because all these has been added as a new count of the system. So you can just see everything that's going on in your Solid Security. All right, now we're going to set up two-factor authentication. How you do that? It's really simple. If you have your new URL to log in, make sure to go here and press logout. Then you go to the URL of your website in here and you're going to paste in the new URL we've just created. All right, then we go and log in again with your new password or maybe your new admin user. And then we need to set up two-factor authentication. As you can see, press on continue. Now you can choose 3 different ways of two-factor authentication. The mobile app, which I personally recommend, an email or a backup code. If you want to enable this one, click on this arrow over here. Then you have to choose your device. Do you have an iOS or Android? I'm going to use the iOS. And then we have to install a Authenticator app. I use the Authenticator app of Microsoft, which is of course secured with Face ID. On the Authenticator app, you will see all different kind of codes from different systems. I have already installed and using this Authenticator app, but I also have the Google Authenticator for even more websites of different clients of mine. Just pick one you like from Google or Microsoft. They're all secured with Face ID, so just use one that you want. Now in this example, we're gonna use Google Authenticator. You need to click on this plus icon on the bottom of your screen. Do it. Then you will see an option to scan a QR code. Click on that one. And then you see this little scan icon pointed at the QR code on your screen. Just like this, we point it on the screen. And then you can see that my WordPress website as the WPress Doctor has been added to the bottom of my Authenticator. Then we press on continue on our screen and we're gonna use this Authenticator code to fill it in the WordPress website. And we press verify. There we are. Now we have enabled the mobile app in here. But what if you actually lose your phone someday and the backup on your system is just very old, or I don't know, you cannot log in again? That would be a big problem. So we're also gonna enable the email version. Press enable and then we press continue. Now the two-factor setup has been completed. Well done, excellent job. Press complete. If you don't see this two-factor onboarding page, then you can log into your website. We go over here to users, profile, we scroll down in there, and then you have in here the settings of two-factor authentication options. You can also disable this one and enable it. And then you can also view QR code and secret key. Then you can scan it again or change it or generate a new secret and press update profile. But what if you've logged yourself out and you cannot log in again to your website because of you don't remember your URL or you did change something else? No worries, I'm here to help. The first thing you need to do is log into your hosting company. In my case, I run all my websites on SiteGround because it's a premium hosting, but it's very, very, very good. And I'm really happy about it. If you need another hosting company, I definitely recommend SiteGround if you have a budget. If you're on a very small budget, go to Hostinger. Both links are on wp.discount, so you can see whatever you want. But let's change it. What we need to do is go to File Manager. Then you can see this. You need to look for something like public HTML. Until you are here, you can see WP admin, content, and includes. If you see this, we're on the right track. Or else you just have to click around a little bit. Let's go to WP content. Then we go to plugins in here, and you go to Better WP Security. Now, click once on it, then go here to rename, and you're going to rename it to something like disabled, or it really doesn't matter how you call it. Press confirm. That's it. And then you go back to your WordPress website, and now you can log in again using WP admin like this. And then you log in again and you go to plugins. You can see that security has been removed here. You go to plugins, install plugins, and you can see that the plugin Better WP Security has been deactivated. The plugin file does not exist. Now we go back to our hosting company. Then we're going to press on rename again. And then we're going to remove this disabled and the space. Remove it and press confirm. Success, item renamed again. Then we go back to WordPress website. And then you press refresh, F5 on your keyboard or in your browser, and then the plugin is back again. Now, if we press activate now, the plugin has been activated. We can go to security, we can go to settings, we can go to advanced, we can go to hide packet settings, and here we can just change it to whatever we want and save it again. And you're good to go and everything works like it should. Now, if you have the same problem with two-factor authentication, you can also do this trick. And then we go to users. Once we've logged in, we go to users. You go to your own profile, scroll all the way down. And then we're going to change the mobile app. So disable it or enable it, or just press on generate new secret key, scan it again, save it in your phone, and all is good. So that's actually the way you should do it. Now, if you have any questions or you just want to say, hey, thank you, Matt, drop them down in the comments. Really appreciate it, and I always reply. Hit that like button if I helped you out, and make sure to subscribe because I have a lot more viewers than subscribers. And after that, check out this video, which has nothing to do with security, I think.